So, hello guys and welcome back to PY Coding India Python Masterclass series. In the today's session, we are going to talk about what are loops in Python. So, today we are going to talk about what are loops in Python, types of loops in Python, how and where they are used, and also what is the range function. So, without any further delay, let's get started. So guys, what is a loop and why it is used? So the first thing is loop basically means doing something on repeat. So if we try to explain it in layman's language, so if you want to do a task and it has to do a similar type of work again and again, so to ease that we use loops. Now loops also reduce our efforts to write a code and also they make our code dynamic. So for instance, if we have to print even numbers starting from 1 till 10,000, so you have to check it for 1, then for 2, then for 3, then for 4, and so on. So actually this task can be really time consuming. This is where loops come in handy to us. So loops help us do all these things with ease, right? So how to implement such kind of a program, I'm going to show it to you just in a minute. And the types of loops in Python are while loop and for loop, right? So let's get straight into the implementation. So guys, first of all, we are gonna see that what is while loop. So let us consider while loop as a person again. Now this person has some really special qualities. The first is he can do a lot of tasks very easily, but the main condition is that he is a very honest person. And if you try to tell a lie to this person, he will not do your task. Okay, so he has only this condition. So, what do I mean by that is this is the syntax of while loop. So, we have to write while. Now as you can see, while has changed the color. Now why is it so? It's because while is actually a keyword in Python. And the condition and whatever statement written here gets executed, right? And when you just press enter after writing this colon, we get some space over here. So why we get this space? This space is because it helps Python to know that this line of code actually belongs to the while loop and it has to execute it under the while block. Now to know more about indentation, I have explained it in the previous video, so I am gonna leave the link in the description. Okay, so getting back to the while loop. So if this condition is true, then whatever is placed under the while loop, it's going to get executed. And in any case, if the condition becomes false, then it comes out of the loop. So let us try to print something, right? So let us print if a number is even, right? So it should be printed, otherwise it should not be printed. So let us take a variable I which starts with 2. Now while I is less than or equal to 20, it should print all the even numbers. So right, so if I gets divided by 2 and gives a remainder 0, that means the number is even. So we can just print the value of I, right? So let us just try to run this program. Now see guys, it's printing 2, 2, 2 again and again till the end. So why is it so? It's actually because, so guys, this is actually because we haven't incremented the value of I. Now what do I mean by that? See guys, in the first iteration, the value of I is 2, right? And since 2 is less than and equal to 20, so this condition actually becomes true. Then we enter the if block, right? And since 2 modulus 2 is actually 0, so this condition also gets true and the I prints the value 2. Now the value of I doesn't increases by itself. So again when it goes to the while loop, right? Again it prints the 2 and 2 and 2 and so on. So to overcome this problem, we actually have to increase the value of I by 1 at each iteration. So what is iteration? Iteration is actually once this code runs, so again while loop gets started, right, with the new value. So this is known as the iteration. Now let us try to print this code. So now we are getting the value I equals to 2. Now again, see guys, placement of this expression is actually important. Now this expression is actually placed under the if condition. So it prints 2, it increases the value of I and it exits the loop. So this should actually be placed over here, right? Because if it's placed back to the original position, it actually gets under the if block, but we want it under the while block. So guys, now let us try to run this code. So as you can see, we have got the value of even numbers till 20. So now what is happening? Let me explain it to you once again. So the value of I is 2 the first time. So this condition becomes true. Then again it comes to if block. Now this condition also passes, right? So it prints the value 2 and increases the value of I by 1. So the value of I becomes actually 3. Now since again this condition passes because 3 is less than 20, then it goes in the if loop, if block. So as it checks here, the remainder comes 1. So it does not print I and just increases the value of I and returns back to the loop. So in this way we are getting this sequence. So I hope you have understood how while loop is working. Now if we want to just print each and every number, right, so we can just print it like I. So starting from 1 till 20 we are going to get each and every number. So this is how we can just print all the numbers. Now I'm going to show you that how to implement a for loop. So guys, before explaining to you that what is for loop, we should remember that what is the range function. So actually range function is specified like this, and it actually uses three arguments. So basically arguments are the variables or numbers that we can pass to the range function. So if we try to pass only a value, for example, if we just try to pass one value, that is for example 10, so this number acts as the end value. Please remember guys, this value acts as the end value. So what does this mean? So actually this range now starts from 0 to 10. So if we just try to convert it into a list data type, and if we just try to print it, so see, the number starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So why is it going till 9? Because the indexing or the numbers, let us say, starts from 0. So actually it has to print 10 elements, and if we count 0 with this, these are actually 10 elements. Now if we want 10 as well, so we have to print it till 11, right? So please remember this. So we go here. Now if we pass one more variable, for example 2, now what is going to happen over here is this becomes the starting point, right? So now it will start from 2 and print till 10. Let us try this as well. See, now it starts from 2 and prints till 10. Now we can pass a third argument as well, and this is the step. So this is the starting value, this is the ending value now, and this is the step value. Now what it is going to do, let me just give you a demonstration. So what is happening now, the first value we get 2, so then it takes a step of 2, that is 2 plus 2 gets 4, then 4 plus 2 gets 6, then 8, and then 10. So this is how actually range function works, right? So if we have just one argument, right, it acts as the end value. If we have two arguments, it acts as the starting value and the ending value. And if we have three values, so this acts as the third value acts as the step value. So guys, before explaining that what is for loop, I have told you that what is the range function and what is for loop actually. For loop is very similar to the while loop, but it has a certain advantage since it uses the range function with it. So what can we do? Let us try to print the values from 1 to 10, right? So for I in range 1 to 10 with just one step at each time. So even if you don't specify this one, the value by default stands at 1 as well. So at each iteration, we just want to print the value. Value now is, so let us just try to print this. So see, value now is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So it goes till 10, right? So actually we don't have to initialize the I variable before starting the loop. It gets initialized here only, and this range function also increases the simplicity of writing a for loop, right? And for loop can actually iterate on any kind of iterable. So for example, if we have a list which has a number of elements, if we have a tuple which has a number of elements, right? So these are known as iterables, and this for loop or the while loop is actually known as the iterator. So guys, if you don't know what are list, tuple, so don't worry. In the next video, I'm going to explain that what are these, right? So guys, this was all for the loops. Thanks for watching the video, and please do share it with your friends and do subscribe to our channel. And moreover guys, if you want to practice your for loop and while loop, we are also on Instagram, right? So please check our page on Instagram as well. Do follow us there, and we are posting there a series of questions. So it will also help you to enhance your skills, right? So till the time, bye.